Eric, coming towards the end of the game, I could see that you were a bit frustrated with maybe some of the DR Congo staff members. Could you give us an update on what happened there?
During all the penalty decision, a guy of Congo did some voodoo every time. So this is why I was a little nervous after him.
Yeah. What did you see?
Yeah, something like that. With the I don't know if it's a water or something like that. So I don't.
Quel est votre message
That's Eric Chelle. You saw at the start there blaming Voodoo for his crazy reaction to the DR Congo bench last night and the side's penalty shootout. It's unfortunate that Nigeria will not be at the World Cup, but let's not pretend like Nigeria are not faultless in this. I'll be giving you my 2 cents on the whole Nigeria situation, Eric Chelle's pre-match antics and crazy stuff, and a video from 2022 when Nigeria failed to qualify for the World Cup from a very, very astute journalist I interviewed at the time in Abuja. Subscribe if you haven't. Click on that notification bell to get more updates. So Nigeria have not qualified for the World Cup. Second time in a row in an expanded World Cup format, which could potentially see 10 African countries at the Mundial. First time hosted by 3 countries. Nigeria are not there. The giants of Africa, Nigeria call themselves. Why? Of course, they are the most populous African nation in West Africa, that is. But in the whole of Africa, I think it's the 3rd or 4th. Nonetheless, Nigeria are huge and a behemoth when it comes to African talent. 1994, first time qualifying for the World Cup. 96, they won the Olympic Games. It looked like a golden generation that was on its way up and never coming down. Nigeria have their issues, and it's a national one. Blaming the players for this World Cup qualifier debacle would be quite unfair. The players alone are not to blame for this. And as is the case sometimes with Ghana Black Stars, and I've spoken about it on my channels before, the interferences, the lack of, I wouldn't say initiative, and the lack of proper working channels to help the players do the needful is one of the problems of the Nigerian national team. Eric Chelle came in with a sinking boat, trying to recover them, came to meet a sinking boat, tried to recover them, but unfortunately, it was a bit too much. When Nigeria qualified into the playoff places, I was of the opinion that this route is really, really going to be hard. If they had won last night, it wouldn't have been just straightforward to the World Cup. It would have meant that they would play in an intercontinental playoff. But that would have been quite manageable because Nigeria's ranking is higher. They just needed to get there, and they would cross the bridge when necessary. Unfortunately, it did not happen. And last night, we heard Eric Chelle say that he saw Voodoo being used by the DRC coach or the DRC bench, and that is why he was attacking them. This is frustration talking. Eric Chelle, did you watch the game last night? Your team at the second half were lost. And DR Congo player admitted that Victor Osimhen getting injured and going off was the reason why they were able to grow into the game. They were the better side in the second half. And this has been a theme for Nigeria in this qualifiers. Looking at the results that they had garnered over the 10 games, anytime Victor Osimhen is not in the team, they struggle. They either draw or lose. Almost every time that Osimhen plays, they most of the time win. I think they drew late on in one game in which Osimhen played. Aside that, it's win. So is it that Nigeria cannot play without Victor Osimhen? Because that's quite unfortunate. Going to the World Cup, he will not always be 100% fit. This is something that the Nigerians themselves would know better. But I feel that it has to do with their federation and their cohesive effort, putting the team together and making sure bonuses are paid, money's owed the players. I know Ghana has that issue as well. But when it comes to the Ghana Black Stars, I have not heard this before. I hardly hear this. It can be delayed, it can be this, but it hasn't led to a protest. Nigeria are not going to the World Cup, and that is the reality on the ground. The banter, the back and forth, I'm sorry. It's disappointing not to have the best players in the World Cup. But on the night when it mattered, Nigeria did not put out. They did not do their best to be there. And you cannot blame anyone so much for that. It's on the players, it's on the team, it's on the management. Heads have to roll. It has to do with a federation which has been letting players down for a while now. But I'll leave you with this video from 2022. When I was at the Moshood Abiola Stadium, I interviewed this amazing Nigerian journalist who was quite optimistic that things would change 4 years later. 4 years and still Nigeria could not make it to the World Cup. She advocated for the team to start focusing now on getting things done and not wait until the last minute. Nigeria has been through three managers in this qualifying phase. None could get them to the promised land of the World Cup. They have to wait for the next one in Morocco, Portugal, and Spain. Will they even have the energy for that? Will the players be optimistic? Some of the Nigerians are saying that an AFCON win will not compensate for this World Cup one. Let me know what you think in the comments box. Do you agree? Let's have a listen to that interview back in 2022.
Well, in as much as I will say I didn't expect it this way, I had before now predicted just after we played the group stages that if we really wanted to know our strength going into the World Cup, we should play Ghana. I was one of the persons that rooted for Nigeria to be squared up with Ghana, and not because I knew we were going to lose out of picking a ticket, but because I know that Ghana, like everyone says, might not be at their best at the moment, and then if we fail to pick up a victory and qualify playing against Ghana, that means we have no business at the World Cup. So I think it's rather easier for us to correct our mistakes now. It's rather easier for us to go back to the drawing board and find out where we got it wrong than going out to the wider world and messing it all up. So a message to all Nigerians tonight is do not be faint, do not lose hope. It's just one of those things, right? We have another 4 years to prepare for. So the preparation needs to start from this moment. If we really need to get it right, we don't need to wait for the dying minutes to be able to start preparing for the next World Cup. So at the moment, we should just have hope. And I know how we have plenty of advices to give to the sports ministry, but just make sure you keep it subtle. Do not insult anyone, and rather than just pointing out the problem, profile the solutions too. Right.
Finally, yes, the team disappointed you. They didn't qualify for the World Cup. But which player were you most disappointed with? And who are you most impressed with? Just one.
Well, I learned how to not watch football with bias, and it's a game of 11 players. And as a matter of fact, it was a home game, so the fans were the 12th man on the pitch. And then I like that all the players together put in collective effort. But sometimes things go sour. But I like, instead of condemning them, for the players to pay more attention to accuracy and flexibility. Yes, you're trying to play to a game style or a tactical plan, and then but you should be smart enough to always make a switch, right? During the presser yesterday, it was pointed out about how Moses Simeon was a little caged. That was the word used, and then we found a way around that. He said he wasn't caged, and he was going to overturn everything today. But unfortunately, the same thing almost played out. So in a case of flexibility, when you're able to be flexible and when you're busted, make a switch. But a lot of people might be calling up for Oshime, but I must tell you, today was a good day for Oshime too. Despite the fact that he missed chances, missing chances is part of football. But instead of condemning players one for one, they should go back and watch what it is. And not entirely shut up their ears to criticism from Nigeria, because I know we can do that. But my advice to them, if it will count, is pick up the salient points and improve on it. They are good players, one for one, individual players over there in Europe, they play well. And we really want to see them perform like they perform in Europe. Yes, we need to see that world-class style. If they really got it right, converted all the chances from the first leg we played in Kumasi, we won't be crying right now, right? Yeah, we won't be crying right now. So rather than pick out players, it's a team thing. Right.
Thank you very much.